They're done.
So CMT pulls JAson ALdean video. What to know about the try that in a small town controversy. So JAson ALdean is a country singer right now he's under fire by both the left and by the left mostly, and he's being called a racist, being called pro-gun, being called pro-lynching. So we're gonna play the video and see what you guys think, and I'm really interested in what Reina thinks because, well, she is, you know, my lady and that I can trust her with, and she's beautifully brown.
I got that brown skin.
Yeah, she so these older women ain't putting in the work. So let's watch the video.
Turn me down just a little bit. You have me on like geriatric ear volume.
Is this you?
I think I'm 3. Let me see. Check.
Check.
I think I'm good.
Okay. So this is Try That in a Small Town by JAson ALdean, and we'll get into this article afterwards, and we're going to see what Reina thinks, if this is racist or not. So check out this video, guys.
Did he do it?
Is it racist? Time for you guys to put it work.
Right. Your dicks ain't staying hard.
Whose isn't?
Older men.
My dick works.
I know yours.
I think I think I got proof my dick works. My dick works just fine. Racism review. Let's see. How racist is it?
It's time for another racism review.
Hey.
At first I thought it said ew.
We all know your dick works, Gene. And we appreciate that your dick works. Okay, here we go. Is this video racist? And is it a good song?
Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like, cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town, see how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
These farmers are dropping their own crops for the day. A friend is in need, and they've come to help.
It's what this community and a lot of our communities stand for. Somebody needs some help, you'll get it.
Try that in a small town.
Okay,
It's time for another racist review.
Reina,
No, this is not a racist video. If anything, it seems like he's making fun of liberals.
Yes.
He's not making fun of any particular race or gender. He's making fun of like a political group, it feels like.
He's definitely showing protests from the BLM protests / riots.
White women.
Not all of them. I mean, there's definitely black people in there committing violence. He's picturing them, but those are all real videos from different news broadcasts. They were showing different protests from different countries, even from Canada and from overseas. So it's not just that. Also, just for a little more background, where they're filming this is a big one right here that they don't like. This federal building here is in Tennessee, and that was a place where a lynching took place of a black man back in 1924. He got lynched by a mob because he allegedly sexually assaulted a white woman.
The fact that he referred to himself as
a good old boy, that's the one part.
Well, it makes me feel like he probably doesn't know his history anyways because they lost. Like,
well, when you think about good old boy, when you think about that word, those words put together, right? Like that.
You know what it sounds like? You know those like movies that like go straight to video, like back in the day, like everything goes to streaming now. But like those movies that went straight to video that had like songs in them that also went straight to the video movies. Like it sounds like it was written for one of those movies. Like it's definitely a B-side. Who said it was a B-side?
It was a Moving Judgment said it was a B-side.
It's a B-side, but I could honestly, and this is like as messed up, but I see it as like some small town using that for their fireworks next year.
Trying in a small town. By the way,
really do.
By the way, this song is #1 on iTunes. It's like #4 on YouTube. But that's what we're seeing right now. Anytime people start releasing any sort of right-leaning content, and right is such a loose word because it's just going against a certain narrative that is being projected and pushed onto people by the left. You see this shit go straight to #1. Like Nick Natoli. Who's been a guest on the show a few times. He released something about Target when that Target shit was all going down. When Target was selling the LGBTQ trans stuff and Satanist shit.
Well, here's the thing too, Jonko. It's #1, but you have to remember that people are nosy, and so everyone who's listening to it isn't bumping it. They just want to know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are probably listening to it just so they can criticize it or use it like to talk about it. Like English has probably listened to it multiple times now. He's given it multiple spins.
Only because I had to I'm looking at him like I don't see the
English
racist
is gonna go to the gun range and this is gonna
try it in a small town.
He's 2% of the view.
So here's the lyrics, all right? There's nothing about race in here, but sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. Yeah, you think it's cool. And he's actually referring to, crimes that happen all the time. When you go into Seattle, and it's crazy to see, like such an influx of crime. And a lot of the crime is coming from the African-American community. And when you're seeing these influxes, which I'm not trying to be racist, it's just like the numbers that's going on. I do want to say, though, that white people commit a majority of the crimes because there's more white people. So it's not a great way to, measure this shit because 13% of the population in America is black.
Honestly, he's not going for black or white. He's going for liberal.
But he is commenting. I think you're right. I think you're right about that.
Anti-vaxxer.
He is. He actually got in trouble for anti-vax.
He's definitely voting no on pro-choice. On pro-choice. Like, there's things that you can tell, but a liberal is still a stereotype. Well, I don't know. When I think about liberal, I think about a Californian who's raising their baby gender neutral.
Yeah.
That's what I think about. A person who, doesn't eat GMO foods and, fights hard for climate change.
Good old boy
Which is a stereotype, but I don't see it as a black or a white person or an Asian person. I see it as, It's a style of people who wears Crocs.
I wear Crocs. Shut up. I know
I threw that in.
My only no, they wear like
they don't wear Birkenstocks.
Birkenstocks, yeah.
They wear chinos.
Good old boy is like the only thing I would say that points to something like it's white, because when you think good old boy, the connotation that comes with good old boy.
Good old boy, and just see like what Urban Dictionary says. When you think about small towns, you definitely think about white people.
And the song sucks. Good old boy, southern white male that has manners and believes in traditional values, not the same as a redneck hillbilly. So.
Oh, that's Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. A man or older boy from the South, in this case a stereotypical redneck hick, likes cheap beer, NASCAR, football, pro wrestling, hunting, fishing, country, hard rock music. Not necessarily a bad person, but occasionally portrayed as a racist, though many could care less, aside from occasionally cracking a racist joke with his buddies. This is not usually how he feels about blacks or Hispanics, generally all about having a good time. So I'm just saying that good old boy is perceived as a racist. There's racist connotations,
as in their great granddaddy owned a plantation
from the South. Yeah. So that's the only thing I can really think. Honestly, when we were watching the BLM protests and the riots, because they were fucking rioting and shit too, it was a lot of fucking Antifa that was starting this shit. There was probably a lot of FBI agents who were starting this shit.
You can be right as an artist without talking down on other people in a broad sense. That overgeneralization will make it go viral, cause extremes, because extreme stands out. This way, he'll popularize the extremes, which probably lead to racism. Well, I mean, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and he speaks.
You're going to talk like that, you know what you're doing.
He's very vocal on his politics.
It's just like Jill Scott. I mean, Jill Scott and JAson ALdean are like.
They both talk shit, and they know what's going to happen. They know the videos are going to go viral. They know that it's going to bring attention to them. But
and she's talking to the people that he's not talking to, and he's talking to the people that she's not talking to, and it's like SJWs just in music form.
And for on the right, because SJWs usually end up.
You can be an SJW on both sides, I think. What's the opposite of a liberal? A conservative?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be an SJW on the conservative.
You'd be like, abortions,
right.
and go to the extreme, right? Because there's an extremist side of conservatives, like blowing up abortion places. Yeah.
It's happening right now.
We're seeing abortion get
election.
Oh yeah, here in Ohio.
They want to get rid of majority votes.
Right. And yeah, they want to make it a
just so that an abortion bill won't pass.
Right. Right. So, in which, like, to me, I mean, in my opinion, abortion, that's just one thing. Abortion should be for everybody, women's rights.
When you guys hear me talk about it refers to liberals and conservatives, because I think that there needs to be this other party of free thinkers that like can see the liberals are making a good point there and the conservatives are making a good point there, and I kind of feel like that's the category I fall into. It's like, I'm a free thinker. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I'm not an independent. I'm unlabelable.
Well, it's funny you say that, because his wife said that too. His wife actually tweeted out.
What did she say? Who's his wife?
Her name is Brittany Aldean.
Brittany Aldean definitely drinks PBRs with her man.
That's her. She said, never apologize for speaking the truth. And she also said some stuff on her Instagram where she says, let me see if I can find it. Is it part of this?
Look at his outfit. He's dressed like country prince. Go back to that outfit. Does
he have eyeliner on?
He probably does.
Okay.
His little hair's all out.
He got his double chin going. I mean, good on him that he scored this lady. He was also involved in the mass shooting that happened at the Country Music Festival back in 2017 that happened at Las Vegas. So
oh, you don't vote, Jonko?
He's in Europe. I'm from Europe, Amsterdam.
They
to be
vote over there.
Do you guys vote? I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
they just make it up as they go,
No,
right?
they don't. They vote. What?
In the Netherlands, do people from the Netherlands tend to be arrogant, Jonko? Because my chef is from the Netherlands, and he is an arrogant prick. So I'm just wondering, is that just how it is? Let's see. I'm from Europe, Amsterdam to be exact, and most people in Europe are either aren't into politics, they're mildly into it and centrist like me, or they are hardcore into it and Republican or Democrat like America. The last one is pretty uncommon here. So I grew up left centrist. Me too. I never really cared to vote, though. Most groups are bad.
Was your family left centrist?
My parents were Democrats mostly. I know my dad voted for Bush first once. Yeah, we were arrogant. I had to learn how to vote
for my grandma.
Gotcha.
My mom and dad don't vote.
Egotistical and but a big heart. Aw, unless we are money hungry. Well, my chef is a cunt, so he can go suck it. Founding fathers, almost like a two-party system, is a bad thing. Well, yeah, I mean, it's the illusion of choice, right? You can, what is it? You get a giant douche or a turd sandwich. Which one do you want? Either one's a shit show.
Do you think that ALdean knew that it was a lynching site?
I think so. I mean, why wouldn't he?
I don't know. Like, when I think about good old boys, I just really don't think they're into history that much. I think, like, they probably don't do good in school. When it gave you the definition of what a good old boy was, like, they drink beer and drive their cars too fast. They probably don't wear seatbelts.
And I don't think I really don't think he's racist. I don't think that's the key to point out here.
He probably found out after the video was shot and then was like, well.
But why would he go to a certain place? I mean, like,
maybe
I feel like he was trying to just get attention more than. I mean, the song's been out since May, but the video came out not too long ago. I think his uncle used to be racist. Maybe.
He definitely grew up around racist people.
Yeah, and I've seen Southern races.
In a small town and not hear the N-word.
So. Let me see. So she will read through some of these articles here.
Wait, I want to see the pictures.
So this is her. She released this. He's
too pretty to be like a outspoken country.
He is?
Yeah, look at him. He's too pretty. He's got his little ears pierced.
He is not pretty. Chapstick. He is not a good looking dude.
He doesn't dress like Garth Brooks. I don't know. I'm trying to think of he don't dress like
Travis Tritt.
He don't dress like Darius Rucker.
I mean, she looks pretty good there, but she was looking.
Lip filler is like this trend that needs to go away.
He looks like Riff Raff. I agree, Jonko.
He looks like he's into his looks. Thank you, Moving Dutchman.
A gay redneck.
Thank you, Moving Dutchman.
There it is. There it is.
Thank you. Moving Dutchman took the words out of my mouth, but I just didn't have the I don't have the right. He does. Thank you. Like, he had to marry a very, like, hot for a small town girl to prove to his friends that, like, he didn't make out with his best friend behind the bleachers.
Brokeback Montana. So where was I? So Sheryl Crow said some stuff about him too, but I wanted to get to
Why are you gay? Why are you gay?
So country music television is no longer airing the music video. The TV network pulled the video from rotation. A CMT spokesperson confirmed at USA Today in an email Wednesday. The network stopped showing the music video after ALdean, who survived mass shooting while he performed in 2017, faced backlash for the song, which many perceived as being in favor of gun violence and lynching. So did you get that from that video?
He's definitely a fan of Stand Your Ground.
I'm a fan of Stand Your Ground.
Over the line that said, like, cross the line and you're gonna find out, he had two dudes at the fishing pond
Oh, with his guns out, yeah. And barns and people driving tractors and shit. Like that was like the quintessential fucking redneck
I didn't
video.
see that he was in favor of lynching necessarily. I mean,
but gun violence on the other hand either. I don't think he was in favor of gun violence either because he was speaking down about crime.
Oh, but he definitely was like, we're armed. Like,
yeah, and small towns you don't go fucking around, and it's like Texas is like one big small town. Like you don't go fucking around in Texas. People are armed to the tits. So, what did you need to see? I'd be more specific, but not long after the video's release, online critics highlighted the song's lyrics as emblematic.
The mass shooting. Can you Google the mass shooting?
Oh. So he was a part of how did the shooting happen during his performance? Okay, so back in 2017, the Route, what was it, 91.
That was the first time I saw open carry, Robbie, was in Texas.
So this is what, so at Las Vegas, let's see, on October 1st, 2017, Stephen Paddock, a 65-year-old man from Mesquite, Nevada, opened fire on a crowd attending the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival on the Las Vegas Strip in Nevada from the 32nd floor suites in the Mandalay Bay Hotel. He fired more than 1,000 bullets, killing 60 people and wounding at least 413. The ensuing panic brought the total number of injured to approximately 867. About an hour later, he was found dead in his room from a self-inflicted gunshot. The motive for the mass shooting is officially undetermined. The incident was the deadliest mass shooting by a single gunman in American history. It focused attention on firearms in the U.S., particularly with regard to bump stocks, which Paddock used to fire shots in rapid succession at a rate similar to an automatic firearm.
1,000 bullets?
Yeah.
1,000 bullets?
So this guy, so there's also a lot of conspiracy surrounding this too, like, because they're saying that there had to have been 2 gunmen, and then they're saying that there's a lot of people saying that this might have been a false flag situation that was put on by the government. So there's a lot. Guns and knives are normal. Guns and knives are normal. Look, when you don't have guns, people stab each other. Look at what's happening in the UK. People are just, the stabbings are up. when you have so many guns as America does, you are and if you have more guns than people in America. So if you ban guns now, basically, and take people's guns, you're basically leaving guns into the hands of criminals and the police. So to me, I feel like an armed society is a polite society. The Dutch people had a couple 13-year-old wannabe stabbers. Yeah, people do mass stabbings. I think both are awful.
That's why people need to have revolvers. You don't need to have automatic weapons. Like, you shouldn't be able to shoot more than 6 rounds without refilling your gun.
I don't know about that. Now it's no more.
If you're angry enough to shoot somebody and you can't get it done in 6 bullets.
Well, if you're a bad shot.
Well, thank God that you're a bad shot.
Not long after the release, online critics highlighted the song's lyrics as emblematic of heightening gun violence and lynching sentiments upon many of his rural small-town fan base. Cuss out a cop, spit in the face, stomp on a flag, and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. We'll try that in a small town. We'll see how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long. For you to find out, I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Now, I mean, in some ways, I agree with what he's saying. Is like, you go into a small town and you think you're going to go and like talk shit to cops and like break people, like light the fucking main street on fire, which is what happened in a lot of these protests.
Are there any county courthouses where racial tension didn't happen in the United States? Like, could there have been another courthouse where a man wasn't lynched, or a black person wasn't like wrongfully accused, or a race riot didn't occur? Like, that's my question. Like, is there even a courthouse where that didn't happen?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there was hundreds of them. I'm sure there's thousands of places where courthouses didn't have public lynchings. If you ain't mad enough to fight, you ain't mad.
Can you Google?
I'm all about peaceful protest, Gene. I don't like violence. I think violence is not the way.
Courthouses with lynchings.
Southern courthouses?
Because that's where lynching happened. Like, no, is it Southern courthouses?
I don't know. This is too specific. Confronting the legacy of racial terror, Southern violence during Reconstruction, lynching law. I think his small town is lame as fuck and nobody cares. Most small towns are lame as fuck. That's you don't need a gun if you ain't mad enough to punch someone in the face. You ain't mad. I'm just not for violence. That's just me though. But I will be violent if I have to be. I don't know.
I was thinking like courthouses that held lynchings.
I mean, that's probably a lot because they probably had public lynchings all the time. Mississippi has a significant number of lynching incidents.
Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana.
And this took place in Tennessee. The courthouse. So the courthouse.
Well, the only reason that I'm asking that is because lynchings. I mean, there was all of those like backdoor lynchings, but a lot of lynchings happened at courthouses. Like there was machines for like lynching people at courthouses. So I'm just wondering, like, could he have found a courthouse in his small town? Because it seems like he wants to represent his small town. So could he have found a courthouse where there wasn't a lynching?
He's from Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, I just feel like the chances of him finding a courthouse that didn't have lynchings or didn't have blood, they were going to find something regardless. I'm not saying the song is good.
No, the song is whack as fuck. It's
unfortunately catchy.
Yeah, I knew you were going to like it.
I'm not saying
I knew you were going to think it was
good. I also don't like, what's that one song that...
Get a little mud on time.
Oh, no, that's a great song. I was thinking like
it is much harder
like Gangnam Style. Like I don't like that song either, but it's catchy. So Gangnam Style. Whoop.
So released on YouTube on Friday. So it just came out last Friday. So this video just came out and it's fucking freaking people out. Features ALdean and his band performing in front of the Maury Courthouse, County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, the same site where a black teenager was lynched in 1927. Henry Choi, 18, was accused of assaulting a white 16-year-old girl. He was jailed, but a mob of hundreds of white people kidnapped him from his cell. He was tied to the back of a car and dragged across town and eventually hanged in front of the Maury County Courthouse.
I feel like it was like a Shaun White that was just like, let me find something on that site. Unrelated, Robbie, I have not had nausea for 3 days now, so that's really exciting. I've been really, really tired. My boobs have felt like they've been punching bags, but I've been extremely excited and just praying for a healthy baby. And thank you for being excited for us. We're
both very excited.
Yeah, and Saucy's excited too. But being pregnant at 40 is not the same as being pregnant at 30. Let me tell you guys.
Choi was one of at least 20 black men in Maury County to be lynched or kidnapped by presumably killed by the KKK or white mobs. ALdean's video also includes scenes that seem to feature footage of Black Lives Matter protests as ALdean sings lyrics such as "Cuss out cop, spit in his face, stomp on a flag, and light it up." The outcry over the video, which has been viewed over 5 million times on YouTube, prompted CMT to pulling from air.
Wouldn't you say that like country music fans are the most fickle audience in the entire world? Like as like a rap art, like people gave Kanye West so much leeway. Like, you can't do anything wrong.
But he's
in
black.
country
He's also
music.
black. So
Yeah,
black.
but so are his fans. Like,
Well, right now.
even Eminem though. Eminem said some horrific things.
But he didn't say anything racist.
He talked about women beating.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
But he didn't say something racist, Reina.
We do know what we're having, and as soon as we tell our moms, then we will tell you guys.
Yeah, we gotta know. We gotta.
So after this weekend, we're gonna see both of our. Well, we're gonna talk to both of our moms this weekend.
I mean, right now, socially, you know, people of color, the LGBTQ plus community, all the people who have been
I don't think that
marginalized.
there is no
Marginalized communities right now
racism
kill.
and women beating. They're the same. They're horrible. They're both horrible.
Yeah, but Eminem didn't say the N-word, so he's cool. You see the logic there, right?
It's as clear as left and right.
On Tuesday, Aldean tweeted that he was wrongly accused of releasing pro-lynching song. He then defended his music video, saying that there is not a single lyric in the song that refers to race or points to it. And there isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try to respect others to have their own interpretations of a song with music, this goes too far.
Your left or my left? Let's face back to back, and then it's both of our left.
Which one? I have to hold up the L. But how's he supposed to bake them a cake if he can't batter them? Aww.
Can we cancel Gene? You
No.
guys, I am not a fan of beating, especially not women beating.
Stage left. There you go. Gene coming through, son. Meanwhile, the courthouse.
Don't say coming through.
This is why Gene. Never mind. This is why Gene drops memes and different memes in my Discord than your
Is
Discord.
that really an imminent? But that's what he's horrible. Thank you. You just proved my point.
But he didn't say the N-word, so it's cool.
We need some spice in the chat.
Meanwhile, the courthouse and other sites like it have come to represent the series of lynchings that terrorized black people throughout the Jim Crow era, and an enduring symbol of white supremacy, said Robert David Bland, an assistant professor of history and African American studies at the University of...
See what it said? The courthouses and other sites have come to represent a series of lynchings. So it was the courthouse in general. It was the fact that he picked... It wouldn't have mattered which courthouse he picked.
I don't know.
He picked a courthouse because his projector looked good on it. I mean, this is a simple man. Did you guys see what he was wearing?
Ice Spice Baby.
It's a simple man. Him and his wife are both simple. They have live, love, laugh.
Beyond Choe, I don't know how to say his name correctly, but respect. More than 230 black people were lynched in Tennessee between. So is that his fault now? Because there were all these people lynched back in the day. Is that Jason's fault for doing that, for picking that place?
Black people choose to stay in the South. They don't have to stay. Look, you guys, I think that the abominations that happened in American history are absolutely terrible. But at some point, you can find something racist that happened everywhere if you look for it.
Yeah, I can totally find racism.
I mean, I've been racist to my own husband.
This shirt is racist because the Indian. Remember, because
They took the Indian off. That's the new logo.
Oh, it used to be Indian.
Abomination.
Obama's Abomination. The Abomination. Obama's
That's a good play on
Obama.
words.
Well, that's a Kanye lyric song too, right? Or lyric.
Abominations?
Yeah,
I don't know,
Obama's
I'm a Kanye
Abomination.
fan.
They stay for the food. Oh, I mean, the food's amazing, which came from a lot of old black slaves, which is we've never
Commemorated. Indigenous, not Indians.
Oh,
These are very hard things to break. This is why all of my SJW friends don't like me, because I just can't keep up.
we've never commemorated or told those stories, Bland said. A lot of those histories get lost or swept from time. Come meme or rate them. Bland suggested adding historical markers to the Maury County courthouse and other lynching sites throughout the state, like the site of People's Grocery lynchings in Memphis, where a historical marker was placed in 1991. The markers, he added, would make it clear that something unspeakable happened in this country. He also called the civil rights organizations to help bring awareness to the state's history of racism.
Do you think that that's necessary?
I don't know. Do you?
I don't know. Like, I mean,
I don't think it's necessary to honor Southern.
I would take a guided tour that told me about the histories and things like that, but I don't think that I need placards like littered throughout the South. Like, there's a better.
A black man died here.
Yeah. Like, you would literally, they would be everywhere.
But
Like,
we commemorate these. They commemorate these generals from the South, you know, during the Confederacy, which I don't think.
I'm all for taking those down too. Like,
well, a lot of them were built in the Jim Crow area or in the 50s. They were pretty recent, made out of shitty materials.
yeah, they were racist and didn't like women in the 50s.
But what I'm saying, I don't think it's a bad thing because it's important to remember history. It's important that we do remember that these atrocities happen. But I also think it's important for us to find some kind of healing and move on.
It's more impactful. A guided tour is way more impactful than maybe a memorial, but like a plaque.
Everywhere.
Here's a little marker, like everywhere you go.
This tree.
Like, here's the Trail of Tears in marker form, you know?
But I don't think we should. I don't think we should deny history. That's a big part of it.
You know what, Gene? That's why we live in Ohio. Ohio is like the Switzerland of the United States.
Slaves can come here, but they got to keep moving up north. You can't
Ohio
stay.
Is very much like we're not involved.
Can't stay here. Okay, so. There is a history here, and I don't know what his intentions were.
I just look at his outfit. Moving Dutchman said it best.
The gay redneck.
He tries to make it look like that's not an intentional look. He thought about every piece of that look.
So I did a whole video on this.
You know what? It's hard to move to Ohio. No, I'm just kidding.
I did a whole video on this.
It's actually not hard to move to Ohio, but people don't know where it is.
Something went wrong. Refresh. So
he's thick, but mostly the neck.
He does have a thick neck. He has a thick old neck.
Why was Jason ALdean's video pulled from CMT? CMT pulls Jason ALdean video.
That's Jake Paul's state, right? Ohio? Is that where Jake Paul's from? I don't know. There's a lot of fucking badasses from Ohio. That's all I know. He's a podcaster and a fighter, like a cage fighter or a boxer or something. Or is that his brother? I don't know. So I did a video on this. The guy looks like you English and taking your yeah, I know. Stop taking my content, bro.
Got your glasses, Mike.
Okay, Gene, get some rest, buddy. Buenas noches, friend.
Sweet dreams, Gene. Maybe say a prayer for your love of women. Maybe let's get that in check a little.
White guy. Anyways.
We
don't have to watch this. I just want to.
Here's everything you need to know. Comparison that I direct quote was not too pleased taken to his socials saying in the shot for expressing free speech. In response to the video.
Gonna think racist women beating thoughts. Yes. Very good.
Don't say very good. Stop it.
So here's what he said. This is what he released.
Jason has taken to his socials saying, in the past 24 hours, I've been accused of releasing a pro-lynching song. A song that has been out since May and was subject to the comparison that I, direct quote, was not too pleased with the nationwide BLM protest.
Which, I wasn't too pleased about the BLM protest either.
I wasn't too pleased with the whole BLM movement.
Yeah, like, BLM, and which turned out to be a fucking huckster organization. Well, I mean, the thing is that the top people ended up making millions of dollars, spending all that money. Black people are no better off now than they were.
Called it.
Reina called it from the beginning. BLM just turned it into a big fucking. It's a scam. It turned into a big scam, and now they're linking it to the DOJ. They're linking that. Sounds like a sandwich.
I want a BLM, but with pickles.
But like
If I have a deli, I'm gonna make a BLM sandwich.
But I think that BLM started in a good place because, you know,
anytime that you have a condescending comment like Black Lives Matter, like that was my thing from the very beginning, is we don't need to be told that our lives matter. We need you to act like our lives matter.
Right.
There's a huge difference.
But then, there was like, I think there was a space for it because of the violence that black people were receiving from police. Because it started out as police brutality, as a way to call out police brutality. Starting back in, where was that? What's his name? Hands Up, Don't Shoot, which ended up not being true. I can't remember, but back in 2014, it all kind of got together. Hey guys, it's Bill Gates. I just wanted to say I love humans.
Bunny dropping the pickles for the win.
Let's go. Damn, now I want pickles.
Are you a dill or a bread and butter kind of guy?
Me?
I was asking Robbie because he wants pickles, but you two, I know you're a dill guy.
I like dill over everything.
I like all the pickles. I just don't care for hot and spicy.
Hot and spicy is good too.
Dill all the way. Okay.
All right, we're going to hear Mike stammer through this.
These references are not only meritless, but dangerous. There is not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it.
Except for Good Old Boys.
There isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try and respect others that have their own interpretation of a song with music, this one goes too far. As so many pointed out, I was present at Route 91 where so many lost their lives and our community recently suffered another heartbreaking tragedy. No one, including...
you're saying... you're talking about Jason. Only because I think of myself as a whiny bitch too. And now our TikTok correspondent Mike, let's shoot it over to Mike.
Now you
wants to continue to see senseless headlines.
Just listen to my TikTok videos, please.
Everybody, we're watching my TikTok. Everybody shut up, we're watching my TikToks.
I need to be able to edit this footage of me watching my TikTok videos so you guys could just not interrupt.
Shut up. This is not how it's going down, right?
Her families ripped apart. Try that in a small town for me refers to the feeling of a community that I had growing up when we took care of our neighbors, regardless of differences or background or belief, because they were our neighbors and that was above any differences. My political views have never been something I've hidden from, and I know that a lot of us in this country don't agree on how we get back to a sense of normalcy where we go at least a day without a headline that keeps us up at night.
We cannot get back to a sense of we've never had normalcy. It is not normal to enslave people and think of them as your property. It is not normal.
It's actually, throughout history, it's pretty fucking normal.
It's not normal to have to
It's pretty fucking normal if you look at it throughout history. Slavery, and again, let's all just back up a second. Like right now, there's more slaves on Earth right now than ever before in history. Slavery is very normal to humanity.
It can't be normal in a country called Land of the Free.
Well, that is a contradiction.
Exactly.
That is a contradiction.
We've never had normal.
There was a lot
if our motto doesn't match what we did.
And I don't think slavery is right. I think it's abhorrent and just terrible. But people act like slavery was just something that happened in America. Like Africans enslaved other Africans.
No, but for
American indigenous people enslaved Africans.
But for them
and other Indian or indigenous.
Them to get back to a sense of normalcy, we've never had normal. We still trying to figure out what they are. We're like 13-year-old little boys whose puberty is taking control of us.
America's young.
We're tiny.
And you got to think an entire race of people that occupy this space have no real history.
We don't even have a race. China has a race. They have a whole army of Chinese people. Russians
There's race.
have
There's
Russian
people.
Race. We don't have anything here. This is a country of still trying to figure it out.
Help some people. Oh yeah, this is that Florida thing, right, Robbie? Oh shit. Well, I think that Florida thing was kind of taken out of context, but because remember I was reading it to you this morning about it.
Oh yeah.
Because what it was saying was that they benefited because they were taught skills that could be useful for them in the future. But I think that the curriculum was taken out of context for a certain narrative. Because even in a book, you're reading Roots right now, and they're talking about how, they wanted to train, some of the slaves wanted their kids to learn how to be a blacksmith, so they had skills.
So they could buy their freedom.
And to serve their master better.
Well, because if they got on their master's good side, there was a better chance of them buying their freedom.
Right. So there
was no loyalty to slave masters.
It
was like a very fake, like, yes, massa. And then as soon as
we love you, massa.
As soon as they leave, it's like, this nigga, you know.
Same-o, but even in Roots was even written by Alex Haley. That was a story, and it was written by somebody else. All I'm saying is that I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. Is that they're blowing it up to be?
How about this? We should just ignore Florida. Like, I don't understand.
I like Florida.
like just ignore Florida. Like Florida is like that one uncle that gets drunk at every family reunion, and he's gonna hit on one of his nieces. Like,
Morby, what's up?
Ignore Florida.
Morby, same-o, welcome in, guys. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. We're talking about slavery, I guess. Well, no, and I'm not saying that. And thank you for the shout out, Robbie. I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to defend this curriculum at all. Because I don't know what it is and I don't know what's in it, but I do think that they're pushing a certain narrative to make the curriculum look bad. I mean, because like, what was it? The ACLU did a travel ban, or LGBTQ plus people did a travel ban on going to Florida. And it's like Florida is like full. It has Miami.
They gotta have that clickbait, Morby.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. It's about clickbait. It's about making people angry. And it's about being divisive.
Plus there's a narrative. Like when they lost Trump, like somebody had to like be the new narrative, and so like they're just.
But no, Trump is still the narrative, though. I just heard The View. I just heard The View today talking about Trump again, because Trump brings in clicks. Trump brings in fucking more revenue, more ads to be sold, and it's all just a bunch of bullshit.
What do you think is more sensational, Florida or Trump?
Trump.
Even with who's their governor of Florida? Who's that
Ron
guy?
DeSanctimonious.
Ron is wild. That guy is a hot mess.
The reason why people love him so much is because of his behavior during the pandemic, which he ended up being right.
Did they say he was going to partner with Robert Kennedy?
No, they were saying there was rumors that Robert Kennedy was going to be partnering with Trump. Trump is the king of the Floridians. That's where Mar-a-Lago is. That's where his like famous golf course and mansion is. Yeah, and look, I'm not trying to defend this. I don't know the curriculum, but I do know that this is the type of divisive shit that they'll put out. Even Kamala Harris was talking about it.
I think it's Kamala.
Cammy was talking about this.
Camel Toe Harris.
Cammy Toe Harris.
Camel Toe Harris.
But the whole situation is Trump did Florida so wrong.
Kamala with the camel toe, so I can officially call her that.
Well, AI won't do it. Look, here we go. The Vice President Kamala Harris called the lesson plan an attempt to gaslight students. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it. She said at a national convention in Indiana, we who share
Delta Sigma Theta, like say what it is.
I just skipped over. I'm just looking through here. We who share a collective experience in knowing we must honor history in our duty in the context of legacy. There is so much at stake in this moment. And by the way, Kamala Harris doesn't come from slave stock. She's half Indian, and
Kamala Harris married outside of her race as soon as she could.
All I'm saying is that she's talking about collective experience.
Not that I want to be rude about it, because I married outside of my race, but it wasn't by choice.
I married outside my race. What about me and my feelings?
Well, Camel Toe Mike.
Let's go.
That Camel Toe over there.
Camel Toe Mike, my brother. How you? Oh, You guys are talking. They're just a caricature of themselves at this point. Yeah, again, I'm not trying to defend any of this shit, but I will say that they're taking shit out of context and they're making shit into something more. I'm all about, look, if Florida wants to teach their kids what they want, that's up to them. They voted for that bullshit, so let them have it. I don't give a fuck.
You choose to live in Florida. That's the thing. Like, you choose to live in the South.
Who gives a fuck what Florida's doing?
California. Like, at some point, like, let people do what they want to do because they choose to live in the state that they live in. Like, we choose to stay in Ohio because Ohio's killing it. Compared to the rest of America.
Yeah, I'm for Ohio, man. Also, we need to talk about with my boy was flexing with the talk show host, and people put her on game who she was. When Montel Williams dated Kamala Harris. Is that what you're talking about, Samo?
What?
Yeah.
Montel Williams?
Yeah. No, Montel was out there fucking slinging dick, dude. He was out there fucking doing it, and he not just her. Look, he was with two girls. He went to a
Go Montel.
He went to a where was this? Well, he dated both of these chicks. Look,
at the same time.
Probably. I bet they were probably all making out and shit. It's tight. Look at Kamala. They
look similar.
This is 2001. Everyone knows Kamala Harris made history by being okay, blah, 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 blah. The fun fact is that all the buzz on the internet as photos of VP-elect and longtime talk show hosts at a charity event. So this is them in 2001. Look, he's all grabbing up on both of these.
He's wearing the same outfit JAson ALdean was.
Even the leather pants.
I mean, he's only missing the double chain.
Yeah, he needs a chain and a cowboy hat, and he's JAson ALdean. So, honestly, he was super like, you'll get it right. Her name is, my boy was flexing so hard. He was like rolling around in a Tesla before Tesla was a Tesla. Look, Montel was killing it. Look at that. Look at that.
Happy as can be. Look at that smile.
He's like, I got two mixed bitches and I'm gonna fuck. I love it. I don't care about Florida, but what I care about is the trend of all the news trying to divide it. Exactly. And that's what it is. And that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what they're doing right now because they're ramping up an election. We're going into an election.
Oh, yeah. They have to start the story now.
And so they're going to divide people and they're going to try to get the black vote again. And again, how have black people benefited?
Drive safe, Robbie. I hope Zach had so much fun at camp.
Oh, look at the little Zach fucking thingy.
Yeah, blow it up so I can see it.
Zach.
Oh.
Zach Emo. Or is that Zach? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Z.
Come on.
Zach Emo. Let's go. That's my conspiracy. Something is going to holy hell.
We got the genetic testing back, and the baby is negative for all the those precursors. So that's really good news.
Yes. So yeah, this is definitely something that's meant to divide people. They're trying to win over the liberal and black vote again. But you see, the thing is, I see so many black conservatives right now sort of coming out of the woodworks.
Hi, Morby. Sorry, English.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
I'm a chatter. You're do stuff, and I'm a chatter.
I'm doing stuff.
This is how come I can't ever have a stream as organized as yours.
Are mine organized?
I mean, you have topics and stuff. I show up and I'm like, hey guys, let's chat.
It's me, Mario. So yeah, I remember someone pointing out how now live what Americans type on their new spells evil one backwards. How about that?
That's very interesting.
There's no benefit right now. It's a high concentration of fraud, and even in our own community, I mean, people are
abducting.
Abducting themselves. Oh God, what's her name?
A fake $1 billion lottery ticket winner. What? No, they're stealing from the lottery. The lottery's not giving out real winners anymore. Is that real? Oh, English's streams are off the hook. Sometimes I'm like, I can't listen to this. He is talking about things that are too wild for me.
I don't see anything.
You gotta say fake lottery winner, Mike.
What's that girl's name? She just came up. I mean, she basically...
Look, February 2030? I mean, 2023?
She basically fake kidnapped herself.
Go to that hill, the story on the hill. The winner of a large Powerball jackpot.
Alva Johnson. Is that him?
Confirmed. Wait.
No, it's her. Edwin Castro.
No, that's not the right. That's not.
Took roughly 3 months. A winner of 2.4. Damn, won a single ticket in California. Now the man has filed lawsuits claiming he not the man the California lottery announced as the winner and rightful owner of the world. Oh, so someone else is coming in trying to get that. It's like, no, that's mine. No. Lady Friday won, and the media was there. The lottery officials are there, but the lady didn't even have a ticket. It was all on NBC or on CBS. Well, you know what? It happens. Right now, we're in this recession, and people are getting desperate. Things are too expensive. People are getting desperate right now, and people are going to pull whatever scams.
What's that quote? I think that you told me somebody said. Or maybe
an armed society is a peaceful
society. No, where
is a
they
polite
were like,
society.
I would rather be the first person to report the wrong story than to be the second person to put the right story out.
Well, that's how the media works now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so all of these like clickbait headlines and stuff, it's all just about like getting paid for clicks. Like they don't like you see the same article. Like, people are quoting each other back and forth.
Verbatim.
You have to, like, really dig to find what you're looking for. Like, when I'm looking for real news, it's not on page 1 of my Google search. It's, like, page 7. Like, I'm going deep. I'm reading some blogs. Like, I'm not looking... If I'm looking for a quick headline, yeah, Google, first page. But people they're trying to make that money.
Yeah.
They're trying to make that money.
Everybody on every level.
The internet is a monetized society.
Or at least trying to be. Y'all, there was a lion sighting in Berlin. People were warned against going outside.
Shut up, it was a pig.
Sensationalizing shit, man. That's what we do. That's how...
A wild beast on the loose.
So, kind of pulling back to JAson ALdean and his supposed racist video.
Crow also got in on the conversation saying, at JAson ALdean, I'm from a small town. Even people in small towns are sick of violence. There's nothing small town or American about promoting violence. You should know that better than anyone having survived a mass shooting. This is not American or small town like. It's just lame. And if you don't know...
And like, I gotta say that Sheryl Crow is probably not from a small town. Let's see where she's from.
She probably is from a small town just because she don't live in
Hold on. Where's Sheryl Crow from? Sheryl Crow.
We gotta go soon so you can cook my meat for me.
Stop. She was in Kennett, Missouri.
Oh, yeah, that sounds backwoods. It sounds like she ran around without shoes on.
Probably. But still, like, I'm just, I don't know. Like, I bet in Kennett, Missouri, people are armed to the tits and they don't take shit either. I'm just saying, I see where JAson ALdean's coming from, where small towns tend to be a close-knit society. The bigger the society, the bigger the city.
Talking about this is giving exactly what he wanted.
Well, yeah, and that's fine. And you know what? Let it be number one. You interrupted my train of thought. When you have people in these big cities like New York City, you could live next to your neighbor for 30 years and never know their name, don't know who this person is, don't give a shit. Humans become just another obstacle to get through your day. But when you go in these small towns, and I'm from a small town, you tend to know who your neighbors are. You tend to know who the shop owner is. You know the gossip. You know everybody. You know that Daisy May fucking was running around on her hubby.
It's like in our block. Where we bought our house.
Yeah,
you already know all the neighbors pretty much.
Yeah, it's true. We know the business already. So it's like when you have these smaller communities, there tends to people tend to be more helpful towards each other, more caring. I mean, it comes down to like these tribes, right? Like from our tribal nature, where we would just have these small tribes, and then they would have regions of different tribes that all sort of, but these tribes were never like, 5 million people. It was very small, tight-knit communities where they all had each other's back, warring on other tribes, enslaving other tribes.
Well, what are your thoughts on the video, Mike?
I think he's just pointing out a bunch of assholes who were burning shit down in the name of social justice.
Do you think the song is a bop?
I don't. I think the song is garbage. The song is trash. I don't like the song at all.
It's like the Lifetime movie of a song.
Yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous. The guitarist is basically stealing the line, stealing the Michael Jackson line. Yeah.
He literally did that.
He stole Eddie Van Halen. No, he didn't do that. He went, da, 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 da,
yeah, that's the one.
That's the Eddie Van Halen guitar line. So who will listen to that? But also the small town mindness of the little towns has got downsides.
You know what?
People tend
It's not
to be
even
more
judgmental. It's afraid, Morby. There's a fear. Yeah. That's what it is. Like, and this is interesting that you said that because I've noticed. So the last time that we traveled to New York or traveled to Seattle, these like bigger cities, because Ohio is not a very big city, and you can walk down the street. Toledo's not a very big city, and you can walk down the street, and there's plenty of room for everybody on the sidewalk. You're not like rubbing shoulders. Even at events, there's like room for people, and I found myself not clutching my purse necessarily because I'm from a big city, but I found myself like almost like this. It's like this weird like new sensation of feeling like uncomfortable, like this like on edge kind of a feeling. And so if you grow up in a small town and you know everybody and all you're doing is watching the media because you've never been to these places, you already have this predisposition in your mind of what these places are gonna be like. So it's like it is a learned judgmentalness, but it's almost like this fear of like it's like a like an ignorance, and so not that I'm judging or saying that it's okay for this small town behavior because it is what it is, you know.
I'm trying to allow this. I'm trying to allow this, but this is what Samo said to Robbie. But notice how he keeps the insurrection totally out of it. Notice how he didn't put the Tiki Torch Klan rally of America. Yeah, but I don't think that was his point at that point. But you're right. He didn't mention anything about J6 because a lot of people look at J6 as not an insurrection, but
it has a name now.
Yeah,
J6 has a nickname. It took me like a minute to figure out what you're talking about.
So J6, a lot of people are looking at it as
January 6th insurrection. For those of you that have no idea, because it took me a minute.
Because they're showing a lot of that was provoked by government officials, and I think that these BLM protests were too. There has been some evidence showing that there has been some FBI or DOJ agents who were evoking violence. And when you look at the J6 stuff, I mean, Tucker Carlson, love him or hate him, but he exposed how the cops were giving the shaman, the QAnon shaman, was just walking him around and showing him around the place. They were walking in line in order. The cops were allowing people to go in. They were opening up the gates.
That would never happen with a group of black people.
Never. No, because when the BLM protests were there, they had fucking people in their Star Wars suits all on the fucking...
I was in high school with a bunch of nerds. We used to play mini golf and go bowling. Like after prom, we weren't making out with each other. We went laser tagging. This is the type of friends that I had. And we're walking at the mall, and it's a group of like predominantly brown people. I don't even think there was white people in this group. It was a group of us, and there was like 5 of us. We weren't a giant group. There's like 5 of us, and we were at the mall, and the security guards told us we couldn't walk together, regardless of how big like white groups were. So that would never happen. Also, and Morbs, you're absolutely right. You have to leave your hometown. Whether you live in New York City or you live in Kennett, Missouri, you have to leave your hometown.
Yeah, addressing that too, Morbs, I absolutely agree with you, because these small towns can be sort of incestuous in thought and beliefs and ideology, and it is sort of a
I hear it at my
social
church. I go to a rural church, and I hear it at my church, and it's crazy because they egg each other on, right? Mm-hmm. Woo!
Amen.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, and I really like the church, but I also have like the ability to think for myself, you know, because I don't live in a like, I don't have a rural mentality. You know, Jonko, I don't have to clutch my purse because I wear a fanny pack.
And I don't fucking, I'm not really too worried about these streets.
But I was like, before, like, I could walk by like Tent City and it wouldn't even like blinders, like it just wouldn't even dawn on me. And I did find myself a little more uncomfortable to be like constantly harassed, right? Because I've been out of that culture for like 6 years where people aren't constantly begging you for change or getting all up in your personal space. So I did find it more like jarring.
Well, I personally enjoy working
You
with
got
them.
robbed at gunpoint?
So Jonko is saying, but it's good to clutch your purse. I'm from Amsterdam, and there's been people hustling around me all my life, from Eastern European pickpocketers to drunks, addicts to general weird people or other people. I've even got robbed for my phone with a gun by some 18-year-old North African, which are prominent in the criminal circuit here. But that there's a difference between racism, being careful. Here, people are racist to North Africans instead of black people.
I'm going to talk ish about California for the rest of my life, I think, Samo. I needed to leave California to see what California was, for sure.
I was about 16 rolling a joint behind the school on a bench with two friends. Yeah, that sucks. A guy walked up on us, asked us questions, told us to relax, and then he said, "Give me your phones." Showed gun. That sucks. No, you shouldn't be talking about California like that. We are outdoor enthusiasts by financial nature.
Yes, let's go, Samo.
Out east, my mid coast 2 years. Yo, it's cheap out here, son.
And the people are more real. I'll tell you what, I have felt more comfortable in the ghetto 9 times out of 10 than I've ever felt in a rural town.
Yeah,
why?
I could see that.
Why?
But
Because people in rural towns, like Morby said, are scared. They don't like outsiders. The hood doesn't either. The hood doesn't either, but they'll give you a second.
Maybe.
Rural is like, ask questions later.
Maybe. I feel like if I would have went in our neighborhood without your brother and to introduce us to them, they would have been like, who the fuck is this white motherfucker? Who's this cracker ass bitch?
I don't think it's about race necessarily.
It's just about who you're
it's
not. You don't belong here.
It's your vibe. If you walk into the hood like this,
here I
they're
come.
gonna be
you
like,
can't see her, but she's going.
You know, whereas it doesn't matter how you walk into a rural town, you don't belong there.
Yeah, in some cases, I mean, especially if you're a person of color in weird towns in the South. I mean, I've experienced that Southern racism before. Me and my nephew and my father, while traveling across the country. I mean, I've seen it. Like, and that was from a cop. Coming to our town with your braces and retainers, guys coming over here with your wooden finches.
What are wooden finches?
I don't know. I think he's talk to texting.
Fences? Oh.
Maybe fences.
You have to speak like this when you talk to text.
Right. You gotta.
Otherwise, they're gonna be typos.
So small town mentality, I get that because I consider Toledo a small town and I wanted to shake this place from the youngest age I can remember. And when I was when I was actually developing as a human and a man out in San Diego in like a big city where you don't mean shit to nobody, I would see the people who stayed here and I'd see their mentality and how they act and how depressing it was. And even now you have these people who are just like lifers here who just never left, never did anything with their lives. And they're just like the most sad, depressing, fucking tend to be fucking racist or bigoted people. And it's just lame, you know. You can get caught in that trap. Now, again, there's people from Toledo here who are fucking cool as fuck. There's nothing wrong with them, but they tend to be people who've traveled to other places and seen things and done things with their lives.
What took you back to your hometown, Morby?
A Syrian mom was attempted to be run over. It's so sick. I hate it.
Like, why'd you return? Oh, so you're not there permanently. You're
visiting
just
the fam.
I don't want to be back in California, period. I mean, I would vacation
I love San
there,
Diego.
but I like the space of not living in a very crowded city. I like not waiting in line. I like not having traffic.
Like going to Rouse at 10 a.m. and it's fucking jam-packed.
Yeah.
You can't even get down the aisles. Finally finished.
Amen.
Let's
Amen.
go.
Finish it. Mighty Mighty got all the emotes today. I'm impressed, Mighty Mighty.
Let's go. So we'll wrap this JAson thing up by we'll shoot to our correspondent Mikey P. Mikey P. Can you give us more on this story?
What they're referring to with the Route 91 shooting, they're referencing a 64-year-old man from Mesquite, Nevada, opened fire on a crowd attending the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival on the Las Vegas Strip in Nevada back in 2017. Jason's wife, Brittany ALdean, also took to social media saying never apologize for speaking the truth. She also posted this on
is
her
what I was trying to
stories on
find.
Instagram. Media, it's the same song and dance. Twist everything you can to fit your repulsive narrative. How about instead of creating stories, we focus on the real ones, such as child trafficking? Food for thought. Which
is true, and we were just covering this last week. How there's all these media outlets downplaying child trafficking. Meanwhile, Sound of Freedom has hit $100 million. It was a $14 million production and hit $100 million. There has to be something behind that. You have all these people who are protecting child trafficking. We should be talking about that and not trying to race bait people into fucking hating their neighbor because they fucking like JAson ALdean. It's like, yeah, he was definitely pushing boundaries there, but I think he's also commenting on what the things that he doesn't like that he's seen that's happening in his country, because he's also showing images of an American flag being burned. And I don't like that. I don't like the idea of people burning the American flag. But you know what? It's their fucking right to. And they have every right to burn the fucking flag. And when Kaepernick was taking a knee, he has every right. And I thought it was great that he took the knee. I was fucking championing him. But
you were.
But Reina was like, I don't like that shit. I don't think he should be
just because like.
Because you're American and you have a little pride.
If you choose to live in America, then you should respect the anthem.
And hey,
that's all.
I think that anytime that people are peacefully protesting for what they believe in, I think that's fine. That's great. I don't have to agree with it, but I think when you're peacefully protesting something, that's your fucking right, and exercise that shit. Just like you can own a gun, and just like free speech, and fucking all the other ones. We should be
the other ones.
It's our fucking. In America.
It's like, here's the ones that got memorized, and then there's a bunch that also exist.
There are other ones that are important as well.
He also posted that the song is #1 on iTunes. It's also ranking #4 on YouTube for music video and has over 3.8 million Spotify streams. When you take a look at the lyrics, Jason is right. There is no mention of race. Although the phrase "good old boys" could be misconstrued into something more.
Which I was talking about. Good old boys tends to me can mean something more.
That was a hidden message. Yeah, you don't associate with the good old boy.
Yeah,
I the N-word with your friends.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I mean, like even my dad would be like, "You're good old boys," you know. Like that's what Northerners reference fucking Southern hicks who fucking still have this mentality from the Civil War era. But what is it doing in the bootleg community? Bro repeated the hook 16 times.
That's why it's catchy. He understands like what works. Like, I mean, there's some really terrible songs that, like, I'm telling you, there was going to be a small town fireworks display that synchronizes their display.
Try that in a small town.
And everyone's gonna be like, woo!
With their fucking with their not Bud Light.
Oh yeah, no.
They're not gonna have their Bud Light.
PBR, baby.
They're gonna get their PBRs or Schlitz.
Modelo's.
Or what is the one? What is the Lone Star? They're gonna get their Lone Star. Plot twist: Bruno Mars wrote the. That would be so awesome if Bruno Mars wrote the song.
Can we see the songwriter list, please?
Okay, let's see the song. Song.
Like, how many people did it take to write this song? You already had it. You said it wrong. That's not the right song.
Kurt Allison, Tully Kennedy, Kelly Lovelace, Neil.
4 people. It took 4 people to write that.
I guess so. Blanco Brown defends JAson ALdean. Blanco Brown, let's go. I don't believe he's racist.
He has racist tendencies.
There is something weird going on.
You don't say good old boys if you don't have racist tendencies.
JAson ALdean is taking heat from the following release. Blah, blah, blah. Blanco Brown is coming to his defense. ALdean's stream...
Featuring Pharrell. Stop it.
are going to go through... ALdean's streams are going to go through the roof. I hate the words to that song, but I don't believe he's racist. One of the first to check on me in my time of need. Brown tweeted, referring how the embattled country singer reached out to him. The Get Up singer was involved in a near-fatal motorcycle crash. So here's the other thing that the right is doing is that they're comparing it to rap music, and they talk about the violence and stuff in rap music. And I mean, what was that? There's a Little Durk song where they're just talking about pulling up and like murdering people. I shoot them and I murder them and shit. There's all kinds of fucking horrible violence that goes on in rap music.
Eminem's the worst.
Eminem, I wouldn't say Eminem is the worst. I'd say Lynch is the worst. Brother Lynch is the worst.
I mean, he talks about eating babies. That is pretty bad. I will admit.
He's talking about shoving pistols up into women's vaginas and shooting them.
Putting a pistol up a woman's vagina is not as bad as eating babies.
But black folks are a marginalized group, and so they're allowed to talk about violence. And that's okay.
No, see, that is very condescending.
No.
And I don't like that thought.
Well,
I don't believe
why is it condescending?
Because we're not gonna. That's like saying, "Oh, he's special, guys. He didn't know what he was doing." We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Why not? We're gonna lower the standards for people of color so they can get into these good schools.
That's that BLM nonsense right there.
Eminem is literally the single father retaliation. Forget Kim. I'm gonna tie that bitch up and put her in my trunk.
That's what it was. It was a bunch of single men just listening to Eminem getting it out.
Well, Eminem is technically not a good old boy because he's from the North.
No, he's not a good old boy at all. He never was, but he's a crazy person. I'm
sorry, affirmative action doesn't stand anymore, so we're gonna have to let that go as a comment. No, well, that's not what's going on in colleges. Colleges were doing, well, that's what got struck down with this Supreme Court ruling a couple weeks ago, was that they're saying that colleges can no longer basically use affirmative action. I think at one time it probably was a very necessary thing.
Somebody probably got mad about profiling.
But when you look at the stats, they show that they raise the standards to get into the school for Asians, but they lowered the standards for black folks to get in. And I don't know. You've
benefited from affirmative action, and I'm not saying that it was good or bad. I'm saying that it was helpful at the time, but I think that it's time to just, it's time to stop. First of all, I don't like the word marginalized, at all. I don't.
But you're part of a marginalized group. Sorry.
I don't like the word marginalized. I don't like the concept of
Oppression Olympics. I mean, if you were gay, Reina, if you were lesbian, or trans, you would fucking win the Oppression Olympics. You're black, female, trans, you would be winning.
You want to know why I don't matter anymore?
Because you're cis.
Because I'm a cisgendered straight woman. That's why.
Yeah, now you can be a white supremacist bigot.
I won't. I
think it's.
I'm actually working on my racism. It's gotten better over the years.
It's true.
Which is ridiculous because I'm half white, and if you look at my ancestry results, well,
you can't be racist though because you're not in a position of power.
I can be racist, and I work hard not to be racist.
No, you can't. Black people can't be racist.
My upbringing has. conditioned me to think certain things that I've had to overcome thinking. And I just don't, for people to continually not fight what they've been taught is ridiculous. As someone who's had to fight what I've been taught and to create a better thinking for myself, people who like just go along with the marginalized words and the BLMs and all that stuff, it irritates me, because it's like, think for yourself. Like, you're the dummy here. I'm a Redditor too. I love Reddit, but I'm not a white male. You are actually like lower than me, Jonko.
It's true. Yeah,
you're like one step below me, which is hard to believe that like as a white male you can be below me. And you're not in America. So.
And I'm above just like a basic white American dude, because
we're indoctrinated, right?
I'm 2%. I'm 2% Senegalese. So what? What do you want? What do you want? You want to say something to me? I'm 2% Senegalese, ho. Bitches.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that it was the loudest, biggest bully that everybody was like, well, I want to be like them. And then it's like, then you realize that we were just a big talking middle schooler who actually doesn't know how to play our instrument very well. You know? Like,
some did.
So anyways, guys, we have to wrap this up. This was fun. Thanks for having me.
Here, come in and show your face so people know that you're
I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I'm having a baby. I'm pregnant.
I'm actually,
this is like the first time I haven't like fallen asleep during your stream in like months.
Yeah, you came in and invaded it.
Thank you.
She just wanted to make sure I was done at a certain time.
No, I was like, I had energy today. Look, I bought